Hello and welcome back to Third Degree Food. I am Sam Caterer and today is my favourite day of the week. After making lots and lots of ice creams of all different creations and crazy concoctions, we are left with a plethora of egg whites. What do you do with your egg whites, I hear you ask? Well, you can either make a very, very healthy omelette or you can make my very simple, delicious, crunchy, gooey, unctuous, crispy pavlova. Very simple recipe that only involves two ingredients. First of all is 4 egg whites left over from our ice creams that we made previously. And we need some vanilla caster sugar. If you remember from my vanilla ice cream recipe, we took the vanilla pod, gave it a quick wash, put it in some paper and then stuck it in our tub of caster sugar. And what happens is the vanilla pod then permeates all the way through the sugar, giving you a delicious sugar to use for many desserts. And today we're going to be using it in my pavlova. We're going to use about 8 ounces of that, so double the sugar to the egg white. We're obviously going to weigh that out on our scales. And here we have a bowl which has been sterilized with boiling water, because when you're making pavlova, you do not want any grease to be in your egg whites. Otherwise, they will just collapse and it just won't work. So a little tip, boil your kettle, pour it in your bowl, pour it over your utensils until you're ready to use them. And then just discard the water just in the sink, give them a little flick and just dry out your bowl to get rid of any oil or grease that is in the bowl. It just sterilizes it so you get a really nice rise. So what we're going to do, we're going to whisk up our egg whites first. Now this is such a simple recipe, only 2 ingredients like I say, and it will wow your guests, your partner, whatever, but it's absolutely incredible. And this is a fail-safe, guaranteed method to make it work and be absolutely incredible. So we're going to load up our hand whisk. We've already got the oven on in the background at 150 degrees. Now, when we put the pavlova into the oven, we're going to turn it down to 140 and it's going to go on for 1 hour. Then after the hour, we're going to turn the oven off and leave the pavlova in the oven overnight. You can bring it out sooner, but however, I find if you leave it in overnight, so if you've got a dinner party or what have you tomorrow, do it the night before, leave it in there, and it just accentuates the gooiness, like that delicious umami that you have in the pavlova. It's just a little tip. Take it on board if you wish, but it works for me every time. So what I do, cook my pavlova, leave it in the oven overnight, just turned off, just so it just cools and just settles really nicely. So first of all, we're going to weigh up 8 ounces of vanilla sugar. One, 2, 3, 5, 6. There we go, just a little bit more. Perfect. Just whilst the bowl cools down, you don't really want to put your egg whites into a hot bowl. Yeah, that's perfect. So we take our 4 egg whites and pour them in the bowl. And then we're going to whisk these until they form stiff white peaks. For about six minutes or so. That's pretty much where you want it. Have a little bit there. You don't want to overdo it so they go waxy, but you also don't want to underdo it so that when you add your sugar, bit by bit, it doesn't collapse. So we're going to just start that rolling again. That's the consistency you want. We're going to add our vanilla sugar, little bit by little bit. I can't explain to you how simple this recipe is and how amazing it looks once you've completed cooking the pavlova. Just want to incorporate all that sugar That's the consistency you want. Let's put that over here. So just put it on the side over here. Now you're going to need a baking tray, and you're going to need either some kind of greaseproof paper or one of these silicone sheets. These work really well. They're about £5 from Amazon, what have you, John Lewis or wherever else you want to get it from. Now the only sort of fat-ish or grease you want to use is on the silicone thing, and just a tiny amount, just to stop the pavlova sticking once it's finished cooking. Because what you don't want to do is, once you take it off, is break your pavlova. So just a very, very light brush of a little bit of vegetable oil just around the circle that you want to build your pavlova on. Next, we're going to arrange our pavlova, and we're going to build it really nicely. You want to start with a small circle, about 5 inches, 6 inches, there or thereabouts, and then you're going to push the pavlova around to the outside. I'm just going to grab a spatula just to clean the bowl properly. So we're going to start layering up our pavlova. Start in the center, a couple of dollops. Then we layer up. Make sure we get all that gear off there, as it's all good. Keep it handy just to spread it on. Clean the bowl out with your spatula. Make sure you get every last drop of this delicious pavlova mix. Okay, now I tend to use a smaller spoon just to make the well in the middle. And you start just in the top, and you sort of push it just to the outside in a circular motion. And that is where we want to be. You want to flatten that off in the middle. Now you can get a bit artistic and make little dabs to make it stand up and caramelize a little bit in the oven. But that's pretty much where you want to be. A little bit. So we're going to take our pavlova and we're going to place her in the oven for 1 hour at 140 degrees. So the oven at the moment is on 150. We're going to slide her in and we're going to drop it down to 140 for 1 hour. It really is that simple. Just 2 ingredients and you make the most incredible dessert. 1 hour in the oven and that is it. I'll be back very shortly to show you our finished result. Thank you very much. So, the moment of truth. We are going to turn our oven off now. But before I do, have a little look-see in there. There is our beautiful pavlova. So off goes the oven, and we're going to leave her in there overnight. Good morning and welcome back to Third Degree Food. I am Sam Caterer and we are the morning after the night before of the pavlova chill in the oven phase. What we're going to do now is dress our pavlova. What we have here is some Driscoll English strawberries. If you can get Driscoll, you are always onto a winner. Instead of mooching around the supermarket trying a few cheeky ones, go for the Driscolls. They're always juicy, always sweet, always amazing. Then we got some delicious British raspberries and some organic blueberries. We've also got some fair trade organic icing sugar to dust over the top. Now, I made a blueberry ice cream yesterday. The video will follow. And I've got some leftover blueberry ripple, which I'm going to pour over the top of the pavlova just to give it that nice little on top. Absolutely delicious. A recipe on how to make this is going to be available very shortly as well. And of course, we got our organic double cream, which we're going to whisk and then put as a base layer on top of the pavlova before we dress it with the fruit. So what we're going to do is pour the cream into a bowl and whisk it to strong, stiff peaks. Let's put that in there for now. Takes about 4 minutes or so on high power. Just move that cream around, give it a good whisk. Starting to come together now, so slow that down a bit, don't over whisk it. There we go, nice peaks. Get the excess off there. Dump these in the sink. So we've got our freshly whipped double cream, absolutely delicious organic cream. This is going to form our base layer, as I say, on the pavlova. So all that remains now is to get the pavlova, which has been chilling overnight in the oven, nice and relaxed and caramelizing and getting all gooey and chewy inside. And then we're going to dress her. That's the moment of truth. Look at this beauty. Okay, we're going to place the pavlova onto our serving platform. I'll put that in over here. And now we're going to dress the pavlova. First of all, you create a nice layer of your double cream. Just make sure you get all the looser bits off the side. Just liberally apply on top of the meringue base. And you're going to smear that round, getting all those nooks and crannies on the top. Get any more of that out of there. Just push it. It doesn't have to be too neat. In fact, it's better if it does go over the sides because you get the fruit hanging off. It looks good. Some of this out here. Okay. That side. Next, we're going to go in for our fruit. Just sprinkle or apply liberally all over the top. There's no particular order to this chaos. You can just be strawberry, raspberry, whatever. But as long as you get it all on there, you can never have too much fruit on a pavlova. Sprinkle over the top. Blueberries go on last because they can just fill the gaps. Obviously freshly washed as well. You want to get rid of any of those little bugs on there or what have you, but there we go. That's what you want. You want it to just sink nicely in the middle. You know there's a lot of air in there. That was the money shot and a half. Delicious. You know it's going to be light and airy. Okay. Last couple of blueberries on the top. Strawberries. Okay, there we go. Next up, we're going to dust with some icing sugar. Just pour that liberally in there. Just shake that over the top. This organic icing sugar is always a little bit chunky. Just liberally over there. It's absolutely just flavour all over the gaff. And if you're in for a penny with the pavlova, you might as well be in for £1 as well. Okay, we'll just set that aside over here. And then lastly, we're going to drizzle over our blueberry coulis. Just nicely over the top. And there we have it, last of the summer fruit pavlova. All that remains to be done is to sample the goods. Just grab yourself a little plate, little serving spatula, and the all-important spoon. Now we're going to cut into it. And there we have it. Absolutely delicious. And what you see here is all the layers, all the chewy caramelized pieces of the pavlova just ready to be eaten. Right, let's get into it. Really looking forward to this one. Cheers. It's absurd. So unctuous, so delicious. Chewy, crunchy, absolutely gorgeous. Every mouthful, excuse me, it's just too good. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I'm Sam Caterer. This is Third Degree Food. Give us a little like and share if you can down below. Every like we get is greatly appreciated, truly. And thank you very much once again for watching. See you next time.